I don't know what happened. I just spit on my mic. Welcome back to Voicing Valiant, the podcast by the community for the community. I don't know the rest of the intro because Chad always does it.
So I went back and listened to the one that he did, the episode I was in, to make sure that I had it. And his exact words were this. Welcome back to episode 7 of Voicing Valiant, a podcast by the community for the community, covering everything involving the LA Valiant. Damn,
nice.
I'm Flatulent Dwarf.
And I'm Bookworm.
I don't know what else to say. And I will be filling in. I got this. And I will be filling in for Chad this week as he takes a bit of a week off vacation and is out of town.
We can blame that on, I don't know, bad timing.
Yeah.
Well, Chad's out. Let's move on to this week in Overwatch League. Surprise, surprise. Let's see. Oh, wait, wrong week. I had the wrong week open. Haha.
Week 2. That's what we're talking about, right? Week 2?
Yeah, I had week 1 open.
Rip.
I was like, wait a second. These weren't the games that happened this week.
Surprise, surprise. The Valiant beat Seoul. Wait. Oh, 2.
But yeah, let's see. This week in Overwatch League, Dallas beat Boston.
Yeah.
What?
That was a surprising result.
That happened.
Dallas looks a lot better than they used to.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that, and then like the rest of the games were kind of went how I expected them. Besides Saturday, once again, Dallas beat Fusion. Like, what?
Yeah.
Philadelphia Fusion didn't take it? I was like,
Dallas has leveled up. That's the combination of two things, in my opinion. Dallas has really leveled up. Having a different coach, I'm not one to sit there and say Kai was the problem or anything like that, but just having a different coach, gives the players a bit of a change of scenery and having a lot of cohesion. I think they're playing a lot better as a team. And they're playing in a meta that suits their players a lot better. You know, that they're not really the best at running like Winston Diva, but they can run these Rhine comps and they can do it really well.
Yeah, these tank heavy, and Mickey on Brigitte is just amazing.
Yeah. And I think I think having being able to run Seagull Taimu and Seagull AKM has been good for them. I know Effect is an extremely talented player in a nutshell, or in his own right, but I think there's a little bit more cohesion with this current roster they've got on the field.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad because Effect needed a break from all this, and I'm glad to see that the field could still do very well without him, because before it felt like in the previous metas, it felt like he was the one who was really carrying. And I just realized I forgot to change something real quick. 1 second. Okay, never mind. It's back to normal.
I think it helped going from relying on one carry to having an entire team that's playing together and getting great plays, or being able to allow everybody on your team to compete instead of pushing all your resources into one player, like Seoul has done with Fleta in the past, and like we saw a lot early on in the Overwatch League with San Francisco and Baby Bay.
Definitely. Yeah, like I think that's the most like crazy thing that's happened this week. Everything else felt pretty normal.
I would say the other shocking result, pun intended, was San Francisco Shock.
The Shock
4-0ing Houston. Yeah. They didn't just beat them; they absolutely stomped them into the dirt.
I kind of, after seeing the game against the Gladiators, I kind of thought that they wouldn't do as well against the Shock, but I wasn't expecting a 4-0.
I was expecting a hard-fought match. I was rooting for a Shock 4-0, but I was not expecting that to be the actual result. I expected the Shock to get better. They've been getting better a lot just as time goes on. Throughout every stage, Shock has constantly gotten better and better and better. You're adding players, getting more cohesion, getting Architect in, getting Super in, getting Sinatra in.
Architect was such a good addition.
Yeah. They've really worked on their rotation a lot, and it shows.
Remember, this was a cool week, I guess. Like, nothing too out there, but still the games were very, very entertaining.
Yeah, Seoul is still looking for their first win in the Overwatch League. Not something I thought I would say 4 games in. Yeah. Or in the stage, I should say. In the stage. In the stage.
That didn't click with me that they haven't gotten a win this stage.
No.
I saw like the records and saw that they were like on the bottom half, but it didn't click with me that they haven't won. What?
Yeah, all 4 of the teams the Valiant have beat have not won a game yet. We have had a particularly easy start to our schedule. And I actually think that's part of the reason why the Dallas versus Philly result came off as so surprising is Philly didn't actually beat anybody either. They 4-0'd Florida. They beat the Uprising, who everyone thought was good, and are now sitting at 0-4. And so everyone was like, "Oh yeah, this Philly team, they're going to be real strong. They're a real competitor." But they're kind of in the same place as the Valiant, where we don't know how strong they are because the Valiant haven't played a great team yet. And the first time Philly played a good team, they really only one of those maps was competitive.
It's so interesting, the changes that have been happening throughout the entire first season.
Yeah.
Like there's some teams that you think are just so amazing, like you said, Boston they had a 10-win streak last stage, and look at them now.
Yeah.
And
sounds like
I feel like one of the big issues is some of the teams aren't adapting to this new meta, or trying to maybe force certain team comps that don't work when they should maybe sometimes fall back a bit and readjust, but they don't.
Yeah, this new meta has been super fun because it's just not solved. You're seeing some dive, you're seeing some tanks, you're seeing some Brigitte, you're seeing some not Brigitte, you're seeing everything under the sun. You're seeing double sniper.
I think Sherful now has the longest time on Symmetra at a few seconds.
Yeah. You saw a couple of seconds of Symmetra.
I'm still waiting for like a full Symmetra play of like an entire round at least.
Maybe season 2.
At least give her a minute.
Maybe season 2.
Please.
With
the new changes.
It's a fun meta to see the teams develop to it differently. And I also think one thing you have to mention when you talk about Boston being on a 4-game loss streak, they've lost every game they've played since they got rid of their head coach, Krusty. And I know in the Boston Discord, one of the staff members came on and made a comment that, Huck had basically been the head coach all along, and that things were going to be fine and not to worry. And I think if you're a Boston fan right now, you have to be looking at that and saying, well, maybe we should be worried. I don't know if it's the meta because Boston was particularly good at dive and they were particularly unflexible, especially now that they only have mistakes and striker at DPS. They just don't have much flexibility. So I don't know if you can say it's all Krusty, all the meta, 50-50, somewhere in the middle.
I feel like it's a combination.
It's 6 to 1, half a dozen the other. They're both things that have contributed to Boston being 4-0. Or excuse me, 0-4.
And then after going on such a long win streak, they probably had a bit of an ego boost from that, but then it just got completely shut down in the first week, which puts them in a very bad mindset, which does not help them if they are already having trouble adapting to this new meta.
Yeah. They could feasibly drop out of the playoffs, right? They're only 3 games ahead of the 7th place team. I think they're safe because Seoul and Houston are the 2 teams on the outside looking in. But they could feasibly, drop down towards the bottom or at the bottom of the playoff standings.
Unless they win maybe every game they have next in this stage, it's not hard for them to drop out.
Oh, I meant for the season. But for the stage there.
Oh, yeah, for season.
The stage they're already pretty much out, in my opinion.
Yeah, I get it. One of the funny things is how they have the season and the 4 stages in the seasons. I keep mixing the 2 up, and I'll say one when I mean the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be a little confusing. Yeah. I know Monty talked about this, and this is an off-topic tangent, but I would really like it if the way Monty described it was changing this up so that instead of just calling things stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, give them cup names. Make stage 1 the Pachamari Cup, and stage 2, I don't know, the Torbjorn Cup, and give each cup a name, and so that instead of saying, oh, we're talking about stage 1, it's you have a more distinct name to it. And And then
because it gets very confusing. You're talking about like stage 1, week 1, stage 2, week 2. Oh, but season 2, stage 3, week 1. That gets very, very confusing.
Yeah, giving them more distinct names, and then he also thought that they should weight them for the season playoffs, where like the final stage, what's currently stage 4, would be renamed, would have a higher weight in who makes it into the playoffs than the earlier stages, because like you don't want a team that explodes stage 1 and stage 2 and then limps into the playoffs, Boston, to then be in the playoffs and just be one of the worst teams in the league and just see them get rolled every game.
Because of the change in the meta that goes on throughout the entire season. You don't want somebody who's good at the beginning, terrible at the end, and still makes it in. Yeah, that'd be really that wouldn't be fun to watch, and that wouldn't be fair to watch. Like not fair. No, it wouldn't be fun to watch. It wouldn't be fair to play.
Yeah.
But that's this week in Overwatch League. Moving on to how Valiant did this week. We went against Mayhem and then against Boston, which we had talked about earlier.
And we're still undefeated in the stage.
First, in the stage. Yes, in the stage, not the season. I hate that.
Yeah, I did kind of spoil this week in Overwatch League by saying that every team we've played has yet to get a win, which means that they didn't beat us.
Yeah.
Bit of a spoiler there, a few minutes early, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure that most people who listen to this have... What the heck? Hi, cat. Hi, cat. I hear a meowing at the door, and it suddenly opens, and there's a cat that's meowing loudly. Say hi, brother.
What? I'm editing this.
We first went up against Mayhem on Wednesday, and not surprising, we went 3-1. Like, I think my prediction for last week had been a 4-0 for that one, but 3-1's close enough.
Yeah,
close enough.
and we started. It's been a habit of our team. I feel like going back a while is that we're just kind of sloppy to start the matches, and we're not particularly good on King's Row. Like we had a couple of opportunities. We had a really good opportunity to beat Florida on King's Row, and we made a couple of sloppy mistakes and lost a couple of fights we should have won that should have shut it down a couple of different times. There was a point at the end. Granted, it wouldn't have mattered because we never got the 4th point, but when Florida was pushing it in overtime, where we had the Graviton Dragon combo ready to roll, and the Dragon got eaten by a D.Va, and it's like you got to be far enough back. That's one of the things that you got to those tiny little mistakes that just take that extra couple steps back.
Yeah, you can't do it that good. And also, even if he hadn't gotten eaten, it might have been just like too close that if they had a trance that they might have been able to live through it, because it would have been at the tail end of the Dragon. Sometimes if you just do it too close, the Dragon doesn't hit it at all.
Mm-hmm. That happened to me in a comp match this week where they Graviton dragged us and nobody died because the Dragon was behind us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, other than that game looked really good. Particularly Gibraltar and Lijiang, I thought.
Yeah.
Our Gibraltar defense. Gibraltar attack wasn't.
One thing about King's Row that I love, though, they did this now. They said that there were 14 grabs. Not 14, sorry, I wrote it wrong. My handwriting's snappy as heck. 16 grabs just on that one map. And I was like, what the heck? So if that isn't a good way to start off a game, I don't know what is.
Yeah, I mean, I love playing Zarya, so I love seeing a lot of Gravitons. I am not complaining. I like the map. I just don't think it's our best map.
Yeah, I'm so glad that Zarya's back in the meta. It's so fun to play her. I missed playing her. Mm-hmm. Even though I'm more of a support person, when I get to Zarya, I go off. It's always I love getting the cards at the end and just I'm high energy
right.
For I think I had 50% energy the entire match and 28 I'm kills. Getting better at Zarya.
28 kills, 22 high energy kills. Oh yes.
Oh, I love that.
And then after that, that Florida match, we went up against Boston. It was it ended up being.
Oh wait, I just realized something I saw here. When you mentioned the Zarya high energy kills and stuff, Space that entire match against Mayhem, 33 of his kills as Zarya the entire match, not just one map, the entire, 33 out of his 43 enums were high energy.
That is a pretty good high energy ratio.
It's like, it was so good. Like, I remembered right now when you mentioned them, like, wait, don't I have that written down somewhere? Like, yeah, enough space on Zarya. I'm not surprised he got player of the match for that match. Just so good.
Space is just an extremely clutch player, and he's done a ton for our team having him in there. I know a lot of people, myself included, were fans of Envy, but I mean, Space, going back to his time far pre-Overwatch League, he's been a really talented off-tank, and he's being able to flex his muscles on every single hero, at least a little bit at this stage. His D.Va's good, his Zarya's good, his Roadhog's good. He's just got the whole hero board.
Like, if you look at his D.Va, like, it was Nijang, he was 22-2 kill deaths, and then on Gibraltar, he was 21-2. So he's, like, so good at staying alive, even if he gets demeched, and getting those kills. Like, there's so many baby D.Va kills he gets. I wonder if, like, we'll get that, like, statistic of how many kills he gets as baby D.Va, because that'd be so fun.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing.
I'm really glad he got player of the match that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to, like, see him being recognized just because of how much he has impacted, like, Valiant and how much he's brought to it. Just so good. So
far, we're 11-3 as a team in the regular season since he's started playing for us.
I believe
7-3
so.
Last
Yeah, because we only dropped
4-0 this stage.
Last stage we brought. Yeah, last stage dropped 3. This stage we haven't dropped any. Mm-hmm. Yeah, moving on to Boston versus Valiant. That one was a bit of a heart attack.
That one was a real head scratcher because you watch King's Row, a map that I just said I don't think we play all that well, and Hanamura, another map that we've struggled with in the past but appear to have really figured out. And it's like, wow, we're spanking this team. Like, I watched the first 2 maps and I was ready to turn it off and call the 4-0.
It was so weird because, like, King's Row, like, even though it ended up being, like, Fade is the last man standing, like, Striker couldn't even make it back onto the point after he took out Soon and Space. But, like, it was so good. Fade was getting, like, I believe the caster said, an ult every 1 minute 22 seconds. And, like, again, Space with his amazing high energy kills, 23 of his 26 enums were high energy. Like, doing so good on King's Row. Then on Hanamura, they don't get the second point, but they at least hold them on the first. So I believe they only got 2 ticks. So they won that one. And the hard hook combo was so good that Space had an 80% hook accuracy.
That's just silly.
80%? Like, come on.
That's just silly.
And then we move on to Oasis.
You know, Oasis is a map that I had circled in my predictions coming into this week. Boston's just good at Oasis. That's just a map they have solved. They have that map solved better than any team. That's the reason they were 10-0 last stage, is because even if you played them close, in order to finish it, you had to finish them on Oasis.
Time break. Yeah.
Yep, you had to finish it on Oasis, and no matter how close you made it, you weren't going to finish it on Oasis against them. So that map, things kind of changed. They got the ball rolling, got a little bit of a head of steam. And I agree. I think it was Space that said in an interview that the Valiant got cocky, and coming in at halftime, they kind of let off the gas a bit.
Because, like, we still took it. It was like 2 maps to 1. So the Valiant still picked up a map, but that last map, it's one of those things, like, they could have won that last map on Oasis. But all these little things they did that they could have done differently, like Agenda's got picked off at the very end to mistakes Deadeye because he didn't go around the corner enough. I think he didn't realize he was, like, still in the view. And then Custa went in for a res on Fate, I believe, because Boston, like, they traded Reinhardt's, but Boston managed to res theirs, so he goes in for the res, but Mistakes is still there really close and manages to get the stun on Custa, which knocks him out of the res, and then he kills Custa. So now, down the hero, they didn't get the tank up, And that's how Boston manages to take that point.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just little mistakes. And that's what so many games in the Overwatch League are. Just that split second off, or that just small misdecision. And it's not just things that the Valiant do, it's things that every team makes, and it's cleaning those up and making less of those is one of the reasons why NYXL is so dang good.
Yeah, and NYXL is like very good at cleaning up the mistakes, and they're very, very flexible. If you look at the hero pools, each player has a pretty wide range, and like they cover pretty much all the heroes within the players.
Well, if you have Libero, you're guaranteed to be flexible because that dude plays literally everything. He's one of the most impressive projectile players in the league. I'm still shocked whenever I see people like making Team Korea suggestions and not putting him on that list. Like, you can pair him up with whoever you want at Tracer. You can pair him with Sibyl, you can pair him with, Prophet, you can pair him with Striker, you can pair him with whoever you think the best Tracer player is. But, like, I can't see a world where you can't have Libero on your team just for his ability to play Genji, Pharah, Widowmaker, and every other hero at a high level.
In fact, like, what was like, I forgot, I lost my train of thoughts of how I was gonna, like, say this. I hate it when I do that. Welcome to podcasting. But yeah, like, Valiant did those little mistakes and then cleaned them up. Mistakes. Like, made sure the mistakes didn't get cleaned up.
Yeah, but at the same time, once Boston did take Dorado, which again, another kind of close map. It's another map that I don't think the Valiant plays very well.
It's one of those things that, like, I feel like they paid more attention to the backline, because at the very end, they might have been able to hold it, but Striker, like, manages to flank on them and picks off, I believe, 3, and then Note gets a Diva Bomb off, which picks off 2 and gets Space demeched, if I remember correctly. I think. Which is what really, like, had they, like, paid more attention to what Striker was there, maybe they wouldn't have gotten the team kill there. Like, I don't know, like, these are all things, like, I can, like, speculate and, like, at night and stuff, but at the same time, I'm not the one that's in the game playing, so I can't say for sure.
Yeah, and it's tough. I mean, they played Boston played very well on Dorado, and the Valiant had a couple of miscues there that gave it up, but at the end, they took it to Nepal, and this is one of those maps where the flexibility of Boston, or I should say the inflexibility of Boston, really hurt them. Having to try and go Pharah to Pharah with a player like Agilities, who is a very strong Pharah, and not having one of your own.
I feel like he's become an even better Pharah, and, like, as time has gone on.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's just so interesting. Like, one thing I found really, really funny was when they moved on to Shrine, and just, like, Soon comes in and gets the kill on, who is it? I believe Mistakes? Mistakes was on Widow, though, right?
I don't remember if they ran Mistakes, Widow, and Striker Pharah or not. They changed it up a couple times.
Because they switched it around, so I'm not sure who it was, but he gets the kill on the Widow. Like, very aggressive, and then, like, the casters are going crazy, and he turns around and gets the kill on the Pharah, too. So, like, and they managed to push Boston off the point, and, like, pretty much, like, force them to go back to spawn before the point has even opened.
Yeah, the Valiant really dominated Nepal. It was just, we had a better roster for playing the compositions that Nepal wanted, and we played better as a team. It was
and like you said about Agilities being great on Pharah compared to, like, Boston, who doesn't have one that's at, like, that's at the same level, maybe. Like, Agilities had a 23 final blows, which was the highest final blows for that map, and the person that came after that was Soon with 6. That is a huge difference.
Yeah, Agilities absolutely popped off on that map. It was seriously the Agility show all match long. He was just destroying them, and they couldn't take him out of the sky. And part of the reason why that worked so well when they had the Widow Pharah is because, Widow's a good counter to Pharah, but you can't counter the Pharah if Soon's already popped you in the head.
Yeah.
And so Soon was winning those Widow duels, and Agilities was giving Soon the position to win those Widow duels by forcing, by winning the Pharah duels and forcing the Widow to try and look both ways, and it just wasn't happening. The Valiant absolutely crushed that map, and Nepal's been a good map for us. I don't know our record on it, but my gut says we've played pretty well on it.
I think I can find them right now, because I do have Winston Snap open. Let's see if they have the map records here. Let's pick. No, I don't want to see pick rates. I see map stuff. Wait, this. I don't think Winston Snap has it. That's interesting.
No, I think you have to actually go and.
Wait. I think I found it. Was it Nepal? No, that's Numbani. Nepal. They have a 66 win rate, if I'm reading this right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, an above average map for us, and definitely think it'll help that is our tiebreaker map, as we have some of these close matches, which we all know Valiant loves close matches.
They love to give us all heart attacks there.
Oh yeah, it's fun though. And hey, this next week we'll definitely... Wait, we're not talking about it. Yeah, never mind. Scratch that. Cut the tape.
No, I think we're gonna... No, there weren't any... let's see. Wait, what's my schedule? Now you got me confused as to what we talk about next. We always mix up the Nell Valiant section every time anyway, so it's fine if we mess up. I think there was one time we forgot to talk about the videos until the very end.
This week for Valiant / Inside LA Valiant, and then what's next? So yeah, let's talk about the videos.
Yeah, okay. Okay, videos then. We didn't have an Inside LA Valiant video this week, but we did have one 90-second video and one Welcome to LA video. So we had Verbo in 90 seconds this week. I knew NC would go crazy the second they posted it. NC and stuff studying, she's watching videos.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Verbo is a very well-spoken guy, and he had some interesting stuff to say about,
himself.
Yeah, himself.
He has some pretty, I guess, funny stories and stuff. He mentioned he broke both his collarbones.
Yeah, broken both once, I believe.
How the heck? And if they weren't even at the same time, he did one after the other or something.
That happens. I've broken both collarbones in separate situations. How
do you break a collarbone?
Well,
I mean, he says how he broke his.
I was gonna say I don't remember how he said he broke his, but I know that he told us.
It's one of those things you wouldn't expect it. Yeah, that was pretty interesting. If you guys want to learn more about Verbo in 60 seconds.
90 seconds.
Oh, it's 90. I keep saying 60. 9 and 6 look the same. Shut up. But then after that, we also had beach vibes, custom space, and agilities to go to the beach and stuff. Typical stuff that you would do in Ane. It's really funny because, what's it called? I live so close to the beach, but I rarely go. And I have people who live in the middle of the U.S. who are landlocked. You guys must go to the beach all the time. It's so cool being in a state that's on the coast. And I'm yeah, I could totally go to the beach all the time.
I mean, the beach is fun. I enjoy going to the beach. I used to live a mile from the beach, and I jog there every day. Or not every day, but close to every day.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's just going to the beach on a weekend, or going to the beach on a typical beach day when everyone's going to be there, which is a time it's worth taking a drive to it, is just kind of miserable because there's so many people that are doing the same thing. And
I think I've been to the beach. I think I've been to the beach more times to go fishing than to actually hang out on the beach. Because I would always go to Newport Pier.
Mm-hmm.
I'd always go to that pier with my dad and my brothers, and we'd fish. There's a certain donut shop there that we always grab. I always get donut holes and a hot chocolate there. We'd fish there in the early mornings, and it's one of those beaches that even once it gets more today, there's a lot of times that's very overcast. It's really cool there, even once it gets too noon and it's not too hot. But by noon, the fishies are gone, so we go home. And it's I think I've done that more times than to go to the beach and hang out and chill and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I've only been to Venice Beach once. And I think they said they went to the Santa Monica beach. I don't want to take it to check because I know it's gonna autoplay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they said Santa Monica, which is a nice beach.
Okay. Oh, see. No, they said the Venice beach.
Oh.
I thought they said Santa Monica. What am I thinking about then?
Verbo said in his 90 seconds that he loves Santa Monica, and so we're flipping videos here.
Yeah.
Something about buying a house in Santa Monica if you had $1 million, if I remember correctly, but don't quote me on that.
Oh, yeah. He said something about like wanting a house by the beach and stuff. Yeah, that's probably how we got that happened. Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool seeing him get to hang out and do some fun stuff and get in a scooter race.
Oh, the scooter race was so cute, and like it's nice to see this like guys out hanging, like relaxing outside of the Overwatch scene.
Yeah,
because they probably spend so much time indoors playing games, and maybe they hang out sometimes, but they also have separate apartments. Like I know, who is it? Agility's and Crib that played with Custis Cat.
Yep.
Like they'll have those stuff, but it's nice to see them going out.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's hard for them when you've got a job like an athlete's job where it's like your entire life is devoted to what you're doing for a certain portion of the year, and then the rest of the year is kind of like an off time where you get to do fun stuff, but also you still have to be practicing, like a regular 40-hour-a-week job in your off season or close to it, because you can't get rusty. You have to be ready to go for season 2. So they're in that period right now, which is probably the first time most of these people have had that period where it's like, hey, we're nose to the grindstone working all the time.
Because a lot of the players who are in the Overwatch League have been on like maybe some Apex teams, stuff like that, but this is the first time being in a like and something that's like a full season, something that's very like like you said, they devote like the entire time for half the year to this.
Yeah, it's the first time that Overwatch has had events where the term "it's a marathon, not a sprint" makes sense, because every tournament has been a sprint. You get these big one-day tournaments where you play 5, 6, 7, 8 teams, and then it's over, or a weekend-long tournament. And then Apex, it was a marathon as well, but it was more spread out, where you played maybe one game a week, every other week. Like you didn't play very consistently. The marathon was more in living in a foreign country for months.
Yeah.
Whereas now, it's a weekly thing. You're playing a couple games a week. You've got your opponents to prepare for. You've got everything going on, and it just keeps hitting. And I think it's part of the reason we've seen a lot of burnout is just how little time players have to do stuff like this video. How much they're just nose to the grindstone 24/7.
Which is, I'm really glad that Valiant has the 12-man roster, even though we don't get to see them on stage often. Because if our main players do get those burnouts, we have somebody who can fill those shoes. Mm-hmm. And I feel that's something that not every team has or will develop, because they play a lot of the player. If they do have a bigger roster, they sometimes slip them off. And then they also have certain players that I think it was Boston, that this one player, when he popped up on screen, when they showed the entire roster, one of the guys in the viewing party was like, "Who is that guy? I've never seen him before. Is he actually on Boston? Because we've never seen him play."
Probably aimbot or aim god, not aimbot.
Aimbot. Yeah, I don't think they're now an aimbot song.
Aim god, the support player who has. Yeah. I was surprised to see play because I thought Neko was playing very well.
Yeah. But it's nice to see Aim God out. He did have some interesting choices in plays when they went against the Valiant, but it's nice to see that the people who haven't gotten a chance to play have some time on stage.
Yeah. And speaking about it, I'm pretty sure this came out in a Custa stream this week. He was talking about it, talking about players that don't often get to see stage time. I'm going to jump us back a week real quick to, maybe we should do this at the end. I was going to talk about Shanghai and the 4-man roster swap and how Finzi and Izayaki are having visa issues, which is why they couldn't get on stage with the rest of the team.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we should do that now or at the end.
I mean, we can do that at the end because we don't have a VV talk as usual.
Sounds good.
This time nobody... Yeah, so we can talk about that later.
Okay, in that case, back to the videos. But yeah, getting to see some of those new players has been good, and getting some starters some rest has been good, and I think we'll continue to see more of teams learning how to handle these changes that go forward.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, upcoming stuff, what's next and stuff for Valiant. Next week, Valiant is playing against, that's week 2. I'm looking for week 3. We got Battle for LA, May 30th, Wednesday.
Yes, we do.
At 8 p.m. This sounds really, really cool. I'm really, really excited to watch, especially with the meta change. Happy to see. I'm always happy to see a Battle for LA. It's some of my favorite games to watch.
Yeah, and this is going to be a really interesting battle for LA. I think Gladiators are looking as strong as they've ever looked. They've got Void in there. They've got Bishu playing a really good Brigitte. And this meta just really favors them having Fisher, who's such a god tier Reinhardt.
Yeah. Because they got Void and Fisher back together, so
yeah,
that's going to be great to see. Yeah, and then Saturday, June 2nd, we got Valiant against NYXL.
Yeah, we are getting a real trial by fire. I said last week we haven't played a team. Every team we played had yet to win a game so far this stage. Well, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, every team we've played this week has yet to lose a game this stage.
Yeah, I believe Gladiators have not lost, and NYXL is NYXL.
There are 3 4-0 teams, and we play the other 2 this week. So yeah, this is a real trial by fire to see where we're at. I think one of the good things is that we play 3 of the maps are the same for both of our matchups. We play Blizzard World both times, we play Horizon Lunar Colony both times, and we play Oasis both times. And then, we play Watchpoint once and Dorado once. So we won't have as much differences to practice. You won't have to practice all 8 maps. You only have to practice 5. But it's still going to be a very, very rough week, and it's going to be a dogfight for every single map for the Valiant.
I don't know how well they're going to do these 2 games coming up. I guess my predictions would lie with Valiant versus Gladiators going to a map 5, 3-2 in favor of the Valiant. NYXL though, I hate to be negative, but I don't think I can see Valiant pulling a win on them. Maybe map 5. I always have hope that they will, but it's just one of those teams that you don't really expect. You don't expect NYXL to lose, ever.
Yeah, you really don't. They're the best team in the league, and it's not really close. The one thing I'll say, NYXL has not looked as unbeatable as this stage. They did have 2 4-0s this week, but it was against Seoul and Shanghai.
Yeah.
And, I think with a different map pool, we could beat NYXL. I don't know that I love us in this map pool. I think if we had Hanamura instead of Horizon, I think that's the map that we can win.
Probably. Well, we did have the full hold on Horizon the other week.
We did. Not against a team as good as NYXL. I mean, we're good on Horizon.
But, it just shows that they know how to play the map at least.
Yeah.
Which is I'm just trying to find hope somewhere. I'm trying to be hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for a win. I would love for us to take it. I'm kind of expecting a split this week. I think it'll be a 5-mapper against LA, and I do think that we can beat them. I think if we're gonna beat them, it'll be on Gibraltar and Horizon and taking another map to 5. Is I think how that's I think the road to a victory against New York Excelsior. I don't know that that'll be what happens, but I think those are the maps that I would circle as the ones we've got the best chance of winning. I don't love our chances on Blizzard World. I think we can do okay on Oasis. But if I'm predicting a Valiant win, that's the way that I think we get there. But at the same time, I would love to be 1-1 this week. I think that'll be a fair showing.
Yeah. We'd still be pretty high up in the Pacific Division, even if we drop the game on against NYXL. So it's one of those things that I wouldn't be terribly sad about if we lose, because it's kind of something I'm expecting, but I would really love to see them at least take it to a map 5.
no matter what happens this week, we will be in top of the Pacific Division. We have 2 games and 10 maps on the Los Angeles Gladiators, which means that if they go 2-0 and win all 8 maps, and we go 0-2 and lose all 8 maps, just the worst possible thing, we'll still have. No, that'll be 16. Maps. No, we won't. Never mind. So it is possible because it's 8 plus 8 minus.
No.
Scratch that. It is possible for the Gladiators.
No, that'd be 8.
No, because if we lose 8 and they get 8,
8 minus. Okay. Mm-hmm. I was like, wait a second. Wait.
So it would be very hard for Los Angeles Gladiators. Let me start that one over. It would be very hard for the Gladiators to take first place. They'd need to go 2-0 and pick up 10 maps on us somehow, either between them winning 5 more than we do, and in some sense.
Like, and I feel like I don't feel like the Gladiators will be able. I don't want to jinx it. I'm not gonna say that out loud. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna jinx it.
Yeah, the Gladiators have got. I mean, it's definitely possible. That's the most important game on the schedule for the rest of the season for me. Us beating Lily Gladiators, getting that extra game, getting that extra map differential. That's the most important game we have left.
Besides the upcoming games, we do have a viewing party happening for the Battle of LA at the
Pixels Bar in Riverside.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not specifically for the Valiant, but one of their staff members alerted us, Sabrina alerted us to the fact this is happening. So it's at a barcade in Riverside. We'll be doing a LA Battle for LA watch party at 8 o'clock.
It is at a bar, so 21 plus is what it says on the details.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I would have loved to go, like it's pretty close by.
Yeah, there's a chance I'll be there. There's a chance. I don't know for sure yet. My Wednesdays are generally pretty busy, but hopefully.
Yeah, it's at night, so you might be able to make it. It's 8 p.m. game, so.
Yeah.
Late night beer run.
Oh no, if I go, I won't be drinking. Work on Thursday.
Yeah. It's in the middle of the week. And then a Viviana event that's coming up is the NA Pride Party. Now it's getting closer. It's on June 10th. This one will also be at a bar. So the FAQ I'm looking at it right now says minimum age requirement 21 plus. So, and if it does anything that has to do in a bar, 21 plus, unfortunately.
And I actually wanted to point out about for that Be Valiant, the FAQ says all ages are welcome. Must be 21 to enter the bar, so it almost sounds like there's going to be an area that you don't have to be 21 to be in.
What does it say that? Because I don't see it on mine.
For the Be Valiant LA Pride Party?
Yeah. Am I reading the song?
Are you reading the right one?
Be Valiant Pride Party at Gym Sports Bar, right?
Be Valiant LA Pride Party, yeah.
No, mine says, let me
in the Facebook page, or?
No, on the Eventbrite, where you register.
See, Facebook says all ages are welcome, and Eventbrite says 21 plus.
Yeah.
So
I'd go with Eventbrite because that's what's handled by those are that's what handles the registration ticket and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. If you're under 21 and curious, it's probably best to reach out to somebody on the staff or reach out to, the Valiant through Facebook or something and double check.
Yeah, if they post about it on Twitter or something, you can always reply to a post and be like, hey, it says 21 plus, can I still make it in? Or something like that.
Yeah. Hey, this place says 21 plus, this says not 21. This doesn't make sense.
Because I always look at the Eventbrite because that one's like where you register the tickets and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Because mine says here, let me send it to you. Just so that's what mine says. If they do it now, like people who aren't 21 in.
Interestingly enough, events at lavaliant.com is the place that they both say respond with questions. So they, literally the exact same page made both of those posts and just said one 21 plus and one didn't. So they probably made a typo somewhere, didn't understand what they were doing, and had to change it. Is my guess.
I guess you can always email them and say, if it turns out that people under 21 can go, I might try to go. Because, I'm pretty open about the fact that I like girls, so it'd be nice to attend a Pride party.
Yeah, it's, it's interesting. I'm probably not going to go, because that'll be the day after I go to an Overwatch League game, and I like to have one day on my weekend where I
that would be the week and that we would go.
Yep.
Because that's the 10th. We're planning to go the 9th.
Yeah, I'm also planning on going on the 9th of the right now, and I generally want to have one day to like get groceries and do laundry so I have clothing to wear at work the next week.
Yeah. It's okay. You can just like wear the same thing. No one's gonna notice. They will notice. Don't take my advice.
Yeah. No, so I'm probably not going to go myself, but please do go and enjoy.
I don't think we have much else in Valiant events coming up. I don't think there's any other like official, unofficial viewing party coming up either, besides the Pixel Ball. Yeah, I don't see anything on the event, right?
Yeah, I think that's all for events.
Yeah. Okay. What was the thing you wanted to cover? Since this week, we didn't even get a suggestion for VV Talk in the server itself.
I was gonna say going back. I wanted to go back 2 weeks and talk about that Shanghai map 4 when we had 4 starters come in, and then you had Space and Kareev. I think it was Kareev, Space and Kareev stay on for that 4th map on Gibraltar against Shanghai that looked really sloppy and didn't work out for the team. That I forget if it was Space or Custa. Somebody made a comment on their stream that essentially what happened there was obviously there was a lack of communication because those 4 players that we subbed in, KSF, Bunny, Numlocked, and Verbo hadn't really practiced a bunch with Space and Kareev, and they had been practicing with Izayaki and Finzi. And one thing that came out on, I forget whose stream this week, they said that Izayaki and Finzi, while they're in LA, both of them are in the area, they are currently having visa issues. The same issue Void had, where he was in LA for like a month before he could finally actually step on stage because their visas weren't. It wasn't like a work visa of some sort. I don't know. I'm not a master in visa law.
Yeah, I heard about that from Sockthread. He said that Void didn't have his visa yet to work.
Mm-hmm.
Visa laws are very, very like visas are just hard to get sometimes. Most of the time, always, pretty much. It's like Moon had to go back to Korea to finish his visa process. And stuff like visas are very difficult, which is why we like a lot of the players. I remember Dragons when they signed on the new players at the right before stage 2. Some of them didn't even get to play until stage 3 because they didn't have their visas yet.
Yep.
So I'm not surprised that both Izayaki and who was. Wait, it was Izayaki and a terrible fan. I'm forgetting his name.
Izayaki and Finzi.
Finzi. You know, I'm drawing Finzi, and I forget his name. I'm drawing him. Like, how? I'm a terrible fan. I'm a fake fan. Kick me out. Replace me with, I don't know, Adri. But yeah, I'm not surprised that Izayaki and Finzi are having visa issues, and just, which is why they wanted now to go on stage. Because you cannot go on stage without a work visa.
Right.
Because you're working there, and that is like just. If the visa issues, like, they're scary.
Yeah, so that's part of the reason why they didn't. That is the reason they didn't go up, and it's also part of the reason why that map didn't look quite as clean as we would have hoped. But that was one thing I just wanted to bring up as an FYI for anyone that has not seen that and is curious and is wondering when we're going to see Finzi and Izayaki on stage. Hopefully it'll be soon. We don't know yet, but I'd like to see, maybe we'll get that sorted, and this week when we're up 3-0 on NYXL, we'll be able to throw them in for map 4.
Yeah, it'd be nice. But happy thoughts, only happy thoughts. But it really sucks that that they can't play. But it's understandable why you can't really go against visa laws unless you want to lose a player. And I don't think the league would even allow it because, even if they didn't have, if you tried to sneak them on, it wouldn't work out. It's gonna have a bad time. Yeah. Besides that, let's see what else. I feel like there's something I forgot that we were going to mention this week. Looking through the suggestions channel to see if I can find it. If there's something here. I could have sworn there was something I wanted to bring up. This is frustrating because it's nagging in the back of my head. I feel like we're going to finish recording and then I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to say this. Yeah, I got nothing. You got something?
No, I'm good.
So yeah, I think that's it for this episode of Voicing Valiant. Thank you for listening. Chad should be back by next week, even though we love wonderful moderator Flatulent Dwarf. But yeah, if you want to stay up to date with anything Valiant related, you can check them out on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, and Snapchat at LA Valiant. And you can keep up with us on Twitter at LA Valiant. We are not LA Valiant. You can keep up with us on Voicing Valiant or join the Discord. See you guys next week.